climate in the 90s today. Don't think it'll be in the 90s in Scotland, Coulthard's home country. I don't think he's ever been in the 90s in Scotland, come to think. Now couples.
Yeah, this has got to be such a perfect pace on this one, because between him and the hole is a little rise. It's got to go up over it, and a little bend from right to left. Just ease down to the hole. Quite enough steam there for Freddie.
I'm in danger of dropping a shot. Again, would change the complexion of the leaderboard, which at the moment shows that Couples is 3 clear of Michael Campbell and Nick Price. Not a lot of movement recently, but Robert Allenby significantly poised at 6 under alongside Colin Montgomery from Scotland. Sweden's Robert Carlson is 5 under with 5 to play. Andrew Coulthard coming down the last is 4 under, so is Greg Norman, 2 to play for the Aussie. And Sam Torrance of Scotland, 3 under, he has 2 holes left.
And so the champion of the Dubai Desert Classic is still leading the 3rd round.
Par putt on hole number 14, the par 5. He made a bogey, which is basically losing almost 2 strokes to the field, because a pro is not really expected to bogey a par 5.
Nice thing happened to Colin Montgomery.
Colin Montgomery rammed in a good 20-footer on hole number 16, the hard par 3 today.
And right now, let's move on to the tee shot of Colin Montgomery.
Yes, we're going to be interested in just how far it is to carry that bunker. He'll be trying to land the ball there, pick a club that lands it there rather than up by the flag. 3 iron, he's got 192 yards to do that.
Not bad. Oh, the crowd have had real value for money here. When you think that play started at 8:05 this morning with one of the big names of world golf, Ernie Els. And here we are at 4:15 in Manila. 8 hours on, and there's still at least an hour's golf left today. They really have had a splendid day.
This is a marvellous championship, but a wonderful leaderboard. We're all set for a really exciting finish tomorrow. All these players maintaining their concentration for these final few holes.
And trying to emulate previous winners. Nick Faldo in 1990 in Hong Kong. Ian Palmer in 1992 in Thailand. Nick Faldo again in Singapore in 1993. And Greg Norman last year in Phuket.
Got a bit of a buzz from the crowd. Is it online? Super shot for Allenby.
He is a potential winner, no question about that. No need to say that this man is. Having just lost a shot, he takes it out almost venomously on the ball. As if to say, you little rascal, don't you do that to me again. That's a big tee shot.
Wind just picking up a little bit, moving down a little bit. Here is a look at this 15th hole. The players having to drive over those full group of mango trees. Most players taking a 3 wood from the tee. One, it's a bit easier to shape it from right to left. And 2, they just don't want to run out at the end of the fairway. Just about there, where there's a little gully and a water hazard. The second is played over the valley to a green that's proved very, very difficult to hold all week. And they just cut over a little rise. They'll be trying to land it round about where that flag is at the moment, just trundle it to the back pin.
Carlson. Gets right through the ball. Bounding on down, and might just have dropped into that light rough, but I say light rough, but it's very spongy, and the ball can just sit in there and take a bit of finding.
And Clark on the 16th tee. 150 yards. Coming out of the rough, and with that pin at the front, it'll be very difficult to get close. That's the problem. You just chap a bit of grass between the club and the ball, and you hit what you call a flyer. Just minimises the amount of backspin and puts a bit of topspin on the ball.
But again, you can gauge the size of the crowds here. They really are terrific. And, all credit to the Golf Association here in the Philippines, who've spread the gospel, spread the word about this tournament, the Johnnie Walker Classic, and they've come in their thousands to watch some of the best players in the world. 130 yards to go for couples. There's a big tee shot. Is this a big second shot for Fred Couples? Good enough.
Breathes a sigh of relief. He just managed to carry that front bunker. Now Campbell from the perfect spot, the middle of the 10th fairway, his second shot. And he's really maintaining that form that he showed last week in the Dubai Desert Classic. He's going to be at the hunt at the end of the week, currently at 5 under par. Now with a more aggressive tee shot, taking a driver, just 100 yards left for Price. Obviously with a shorter club, a little bit easier to hit it straight, easier to control.
He's not waving there, he's talking to the caddy about what he wanted to do and where it should have landed. He should be happy enough with the end product though. Aoki, chance to get himself back to just 1 over. And that distinctive putting style of his, and it's charging through.
Aoki started the day at 2 under par, now currently 2 over. Got a bad start to his round, drops 3 strokes on the first, then bogeyed the next, and then got a bogey at the 5th. Birdied the 10th though, so here currently 2 over par.
Coulthard's had an adventurous week. Good first round, brought him into the press tent, and he was saying how much he'd enjoyed playing the course after a quiet break over Christmas. Just before that, life was a bit hectic when he was winning down in Australia, the PGA tournament. It's a continuation of excellent form for Andrew Coulthard. We've seen him hold from that sort of distance on 3 or 4 occasions. 1 under he is.
Very pleasant young man, and very mature for his age. Plays the golf with a lot of sense and good strategy. It's the advantage of having a good amateur record.
Yeah, the man from Como in Italy, Silvio Grappasoni. Nice to see his name up on the leaderboard. He's not there every week by any means. He'd be the first to admit that. But this has been a pretty productive week so far. And he's holed a number of putts from that distance too.
This is where Carlson's finished at the back of the 9th green, just sitting down in that Bermuda grass. And the ball's sitting down like that. You've got to play something of a bunker shot. All he's really got to do is flop this on the first third of the green. Now it's all downhill from there. It should run down to the whole side.
Oh, did he play that well or what? Such a delicate touch. Very big crowd around and appreciating the skill of these players. They really are wizards at that sort of shot.
Yes, I think this is the advantage that the 2 leaders certainly have had the experience of playing out of this rough on the American Tour, both Price and Couples. Particularly Couples is a real expert out of that very thick, tangly Bermuda rough. But that was a great shot from Carlson.
News that Aoki missed that little short putt he had, and that's another shot gone for Aoki, so he'll go to 2 over. But Couples is the man who is taking a bit of a stranglehold on the Johnnie Walker Classic, hoping to go one better than last year when he was pipped to the title by Greg Norman. But at the moment he's in charge, 3 clear of birthday boy Nick Price, 5 clear of Michael Campbell, Darren Clark and Robert Carlson.
There's a big swing on this one from right to left. And there's the grip of Couples. It's gone well down the shaft, left below right. Very light, tender grip. Come on. Right on line. So Couples going to have to be happy with the front 9 holes of 31 strokes.
Ken, I think it's something to do with the fact that he plays on the American courses, and this is not dissimilar, is it, to many of them in the States?
我的世界烟火表演，北京庄盛房地产开发有限公司带给全亚洲观众的新年献礼，95香港世界烟火表演，大年初2晚上7点55分，卫视中文台。
So can Greg get this birdie? He's such an inspirational player. Once he holds one birdie, you always feel he's going to go on and hold another 2 or 3.
Another one slips by for the great white shark. That pin today cut on a little plateau on the right hand side of the green. It'll be very difficult to get down into if you do miss the green on the right. Couples did get his ball over the water. Now these are never easy, these shots. You've got to decide where you want to land the ball, whether you want to land it on the fringe and take a bit of sting out of it, or pitch it onto the green and try and get the ball to stop.
It's a very good course because we're seeing all manner of shots here, aren't we? All sorts of different types of approaches, and some greens where the balls are really curving with vicious barrows.
He'll also be very keen to keep the ball this side of the flag.
Is there a seed of doubt in his mind?
Well, not one of his best, but has left himself the uphill putt.
Joe, that cameraman was moving. Well, a 100-yard dash there to get into position to see Fred Couples, but meanwhile well, there are birdies being picked up around the course today, much more than it yielded on the first day here at the Legacy course at the Orchard Golf and Country Club. There weren't many then.
Yes, the average score on day 1 was 75.5, and yesterday 73.5 shots. Today I would say it'd be very similar to that, although we've got some very dastardly pins on 1 or 2 holes.
Well, indeed, only one player was under 70 on the first day. That's Holberg with a 69. Now Torrance, yes. Oh, good, 2 in a row for Sam. After that bogey at the 10th, that's birdies 11 and 12, back to 5 under. Now Montgomery.
Second of Montgomery trying to throw it high in the air. Can't get any spin on it, so he's got to stop it by using the height. He's done that very well.
Darren Clark. Birdie chance for him. Right on the line of the green there, you see. It's got to come in, it's got to come in, and it just didn't seem to move when he needed it to at the last second. Still, it's going to be par for Darren, and This game's holding well together nicely. Birdied the first and second, and he's parred every hole since then. 2 under for the day.
Going along very steadily, Darren. Keep up the good work. Well, Carlson has putted up and over that ridge and has come up a bit short, so he's striding around, and as you know, he's got a little anxious, nasty one to save his part. Now Price. Both Price and Greg Norman just struggling a little bit on the greens. Price was pretty good yesterday, had 8 birdies. But things just not quite 100%. Of course, it's early days in the season.
I know you had a look at some of the greens this morning, Ken, and there are some really tricky ones out there, some awkward pin placements.
Yeah, this is a very difficult one. Look at this, like putting at Augusta, almost putting away from the hole.
Yes, do not adjust your sets. He is putting round the corner. That's an incredible angle, isn't it? What a degree turn is that? And he's not missed by a great deal, but still just a nasty little couple of feet to go.
Yeah, and there's very much a rascal of a pin on the 14th, the par 5, which we'll be seeing a little bit later on. Sam playing for position on the par 4 13th.
Not had a win since 1993 when he won the Honda Open in a playoff. Also took the Kronenberg Open and the Heineken Open, Catalonia, that year.
And he also won the Scottish Open up at Dalmahoy, so that was quite a season for him. And here's a man who won his National Open, the Australian Open, a couple of months ago, beat Brett Ogle. This for his 3 on the 11th.
He's got a very sure touch. He's very calm, a very placid sort of a person, Robert Allenby, and I think that's reflected in his golf. And people's moods are reflected by the way they play.
Norman at the 13th. Yeah, as you say, people's styles and techniques and everything actually show how they are. Norman, a very aggressive player, and that sort of character he is.
Italy's Rocca. Costatina Rocca then to come back to level par if he gets this one. Ryder Cup man. And again you see it starts off way out to the right, comes on curling round and just misses, but a good effort by Costatina Rocca.
Here is this ticklish one. Beautifully holed. They always test the nerve, those nasty downhill, and particularly if they're left or right.
Well, you don't get a 65 and a course record every day, do you? But still very much the leader in the hunt for that £3,000 for the best round of the week on this new course. Couples then, having had his problems, is it going to be a trauma for Freddie? It is, because that's missing a blemish.
Come on. And he pitched it just above that ledge, always carried it a couple of yards too far. There's a little bank there, he could have pitched it in right over the flag again.
Won almost $1.5 million in a year on the US tour. Quite phenomenal money, and remember the winner here this week earns £100,000. Very nice too. If this man will pick up the winner's cheque. He's certainly come very much to the forefront in the last 2 days, but that's the poorest shot we've seen from him a moment ago, that approach, and he's not been able to make amends with the putt. So rare error here from the young New Zealander. We move up to Scandinavia now, and Robert Carlson, yesterday's hero, 65.
Yes, that's going to take some beating. Going with an 8 iron. Portion of the cutting surface, the front bit of the green slopes very much from back to front. It's almost so slopey there's no pin positions there.
We haven't had a hole in one this week, as we did last week within the first 2 hours of our new season's coverage, when Wayne Westner was the man on the 7th at Dubai.
Couples always seems to be able to sustain that lovely smooth rhythm. Always completes his backswing. No glove, and just look at his left-hand grip. He's got a very strong left-hand grip, very much on top of the shaft.
She comes, almost from bungee jumping height, and what a great response from Fred Couples. Disappointment of that missed putt at the last, where he had another birdie chance. 3 in a row on the green.
This is what faces Darren Clark at the 13th. Pin right just over the bunker. Beautifully struck. A little bit of grip on it.
Well, we saw Michael Campbell a few minutes ago. When we left you there, he had a putt of about 6 or 7 feet and he missed it. So it was a bogey for Campbell. And I know you like to keep us up to date with some scores around the course. And Ernie Els, if you're wondering what happened to him, he had a 75 today. So he's really been uninspired. He's on the 224 mark. Wayne Riley of Australia had a 75. And here's another Australian, Robert Allenby, born in Melbourne. His brother and sister born in England. Allenby playing some splendid golf here on the course he's enjoying.
Stand up, please. Thank you.
Allenby, of course, who nearly won the Australian Open as an amateur. Bruce Devlin did do that one year.
Montgomery is peppering the pin at the moment. He's finding the sort of form that got him that 63 in the second round in Dubai last week. It's taken him some while maybe to come to terms with the course, but he's really looking quite hot at the moment.
Well, Senior's been going along very well, but struggled on this 14th, and this is a nasty pin position today.
Dropped for Senior down to 1 under par. A man who has won many times in Europe. Well, the Australians making a challenge, however, with Senior, with Allenby, rather than with Greg Norman. And another super shot. Look at this from Allenby in the hole. In the hole.
Andy Coulthard, thank you very much. That was definitely one of those. So suddenly a Scotsman moves into the equation.
So Andrew Coulthard, 3 under now. There it was, tucked away nicely. He's had a very enjoyable week.